My name is Ryan Cheatham. I am the Associate Director of Employer Relations and Assessment in the Center for Academic and Career Success. And Robin Smith, she is the Assistant Director for Employer Relations in CACS. And we do have another member of our team, our graduate assistant. And all of us together put together the career fair. And we also host the events that take place throughout the week. In our office, we also have your academic and career advisors, and everyone should have been assigned one. And they work with you also post-graduation when you graduate as well. Let's say maybe a year goes by and you're ready to change careers, and there might be some opportunities that you're interested in. They'll even help you at that point within your career as well. So as soon as you join the CUA family, you kind of have all of us here to help you along with your career goals. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So in tonight's session, we'll go over how to work the Handshake platform. We're going to talk about best practices for preparing for a virtual fair, virtual interviewing, and how to follow up. Also, I wanted to give you all the information for platform assistance if you need some help on the day of the fair, and how you can reach us so that we can get back to you in a timely manner. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. So what I would like to do is kind of just go through this information on the PowerPoint first, and then I want to take you to kind of like a resource document to walk you through some screenshots and show you how it all kind of flows. But the first thing that you're going to want to do, if you haven't already registered for the fair, when you go onto your Handshake profile, you can click on Campus Fairs at the top, or Campus Events at the top, or you can click on Career Center. And when you click on that, it'll give you a breakdown of all of the events that are taking place. You'll see the career fair listed, and you can go ahead and click on that, and it'll give you an overview of the fair, some of the employers that are coming. In the top right-hand corner, you can click on Register, and you'll be able to register for the fair. Once you click on that register button for the fair, it's going to allow you to see all of the employers that are listed. So we currently have about 58 employers registered to attend this virtual career fair. And you'll have a chance to kind of sort through all of those employers. Each one of those employers is responsible for setting up a schedule that you will have access to book appointments on. So they're going to be posting either group sessions, or they're going to be posting one-on-one sessions. So if you're looking at a group session appointment, you can click on that, and you'll be able to reserve your spot. Those group sessions are about 30 minutes in length. Or you can click on your one-on-one session. Those sessions are about 10 minutes in length, so it allows the employer a chance to make a one-on-one connection with you, where you can give your elevator pitch, some information about yourself and what drew you to the organization. They can then give you information about the opportunities that are available, and then from there, you'll make connections with regards to next steps in the recruiting and hiring process. So once you have found employers that you're interested in networking with, and you've taken a look at what their appointment schedule looks like, go ahead and book your appointments with them. I recommend going about doing it this way for a couple reasons. The first being that when you allow yourself time to actually review the employers that are listed on the career fair before attending it, it causes that sense of being overwhelmed to come down a little bit. You'll have an idea of what employers fit your major and what your interests are when you do that research ahead of time. So if you plan ahead and you put together that schedule now versus waiting till the day of, it'll kind of give you that ease of mind and help you feel more organized. Along with that, there's also the possibility, if you wait to the last minute to start booking your appointments, like the day of, there's a chance that that employer that you really wanted to meet with is no longer available. All of their slots could be filled up. Their group sessions could be filled up, as well as their one-on-ones. So the sooner you book, the better. along with booking, you'll receive a confirmation email, and Handshake will review for you how to access your virtual session, and you'll also have a link to your virtual session. Throughout the entire experience, you'll be able to email careers@cua.edu, and you'll get email reminders sent to you from Handshake to keep you updated with regards to what sessions you have signed up for. Now, you will not have to open up a different Zoom link and go through all these multiple different steps. It's pretty simple. You'll be prompted to join your scheduled appointment time, and it'll open up in Handshake. So you won't have to click on an external link. It'll all be set up there for you. And again, when I'm done giving this presentation piece, I will show you kind of like the screenshots and exactly how that looks. And then from there, we can go into questions about the platform. So advice for virtual networking and for interviewing. The first piece of advice that I touched on was researching the organization and the recruiter. Today, we had a series of career talks, the first set of series. The first set in our Career Talk series with employers, going over exactly what students can do to prepare for interviewing and to prepare for internship opportunities. And one of the biggest things that I'm pretty sure I feel like every last employer touched on was the importance of researching their organization and the recruiters if you can. This is important because if you research the organization and not just look at their mission or their vision and their overview, but taking a look at maybe some of the latest initiatives that the organization has launched, especially in the midst of COVID-19, seeing how the organization is evolving. These are things, bits of information that you can have that kind of set you apart. When you're able to touch on some of those aspects of an organization that really require research in order for you to know about, it tells the employer or the recruiter that you really are interested in their organization, that you really are invested and you really want to learn more. And that opens them up to want to have an engaging conversation with you. And it also helps with having questions. Oftentimes a recruiter will say, well, hey, do you have any questions for me? And yeah, you want the basic information of, when are applications due and how much does the job pay? How much of the job is virtual and how much of it is in person, right? But those are surface questions. You really want to be able to dive a little bit deeper and ask questions as it relates to the work itself. How much of my job is going to be, data-based? How much of my job is going to require me to schedule meetings and to meet with this person and that? Will I have a chance to meet different individuals that represent different areas of the organization as it relates to what my interests are? And then if you're trying to go for a job instead of an internship, asking questions can really show you what the company is looking at doing 3-4 years from now, how they've evolved, and what it looks like on a typical day in the workplace. So as you do the research, you can get to a more authentic place of questioning. And the recruiter will notice that, they'll respect that, and that will move you up when it comes to a recruiter going through a stack of about 300 different candidates for a position. Because we are in a season where the demand for jobs is high. And the supply is either maintaining or dwindling. And so it is important that you do everything that you possibly can, and researching the organization is one of those things to kind of set you above. So the next tidbit of advice that I have is you'll want to reach out prior to virtual sessions on a professional network. We did have about 2 of the employers touch on this earlier today. And when we say reach out to them on a professional network, we're not saying, stalk them on Facebook or IG or anything like that. But what we are saying is that see if they have a LinkedIn account. And if they do have a LinkedIn account, reach out to them. follow them. Let them know that you're interested in their organization and that you saw that they are attending the career fair and that you would love the chance to be able to network and further connect with them. From there, they'll get back to you. Some of the employers today were saying they love it when they have someone who reaches out to them on the side. Whether or not they have a job opportunity or opening, if it's an organization that you want to connect with, they're always willing to provide that informational feedback for you and to network. Another really great thing about reaching out prior to the virtual session or professional network is you'll be able to see if that employer or that organization has somebody that you already know that works there. I believe when you're on LinkedIn, they show you some individuals who you may have in common. And if you see somebody that you have connected with, or if you see that there's a CUA alumnus that works there, that's a good chance for you to reach out. If you feel more comfortable reaching out to that colleague or that mentor or that CUA alum and saying, hey, I'm interested in this organization. They're coming to the career fair. I see that you work here, or I see that you have a connection with them. Could you give me a little bit more information or a little bit more insight? That's a great place to start networking. It's all about relationships, and sometimes it really is about who you know. And if you are connected to someone who works within the organization and you're able to make those networks prior to the fair, that may also set you apart when it comes to your resume moving up in the candidate prospects pile. The next thing you want to do is to check to see if the organization has posted any jobs. A lot of times these organizations, if they have an opportunity, are prompted to post the job to Handshake if they are indeed attending a career fair. So check to see if the organizations that you want to connect with have any jobs posted on Handshake. And if you're not seeing any posted on Handshake, check their website to see if they have any opportunities as well. Now, if it's an organization that you're interested in and they do not have a job posted on either platform, they might be attending the career fair because this is a chance for them to network and to build up a database. So when they are hiring again, they already have a prospect pool of resumes that they can pull from. So it's still worthwhile connecting with these organizations. But if you see that a job has been posted and you feel as if that you meet the qualifications, put in your application prior to the fair, so that way it's easy for the recruiter to pull it up. And if you're missing any documents, or if you have any questions about anything, then that's the time to kind of go over it. You can let the recruiter know that you submitted an application. And it also shows that you take initiative and that you really are serious about the opportunity ahead. Check your email for brochures or promotional information. All of the employers who are attending the career fair have been given logistical information. And in that logistical information, we have told them that they can actually send us any promotional materials that they have with regards to jobs, internships, their organization, and we'll send it out to the students who have registered for the fair. So check your email throughout the week to see if there are any organizations that are attending the fair who have sent out a brochure or promotional information about an opportunity, so that way you're aware of some of the opportunities that are available. Another thing that you can do to help prepare is practice your elevator pitch and brush up on your interviewing skills. You can connect with your academic and career advisor tomorrow and Wednesday. And in that time, they're hosting drop-in virtual 20-minute sessions where you can brush up on your elevator pitch. You can go through a mock interview with them. They can take a look at your resume for you and provide any suggestions and help you make the edits right then and there. So the next 2 days is a great opportunity for you to kind of perfect how you want your image and branding to be throughout the event on Friday. And it's also a chance for you to kind of brush up on maybe how to relay a concept about a particular project or opportunity that you've had recently. When you're practicing your elevator pitch, an elevator pitch, for those who might not know what it is it's kind of like your objective at the beginning of your resume in a verbal form. So the concept is that you get on an elevator on the top floor, and a person who works at an organization that you're interested in, or a celebrity or someone who you hold in high regard, gets on the elevator with you. And you have from the time that the elevator doors close to the time it gets to the bottom to kind of tell the person about who you are and your interests and where you see yourself going career-wise, to really sell yourself. That's what an elevator pitch is. So you want it to be confident, you want it to be concise, and you want it to be realistic. So again, tomorrow, Tuesday, from 9 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. and Wednesday, same time frame, academic and career advisors are on standby for you to be able to connect with them, and they can help you with this. In order to create your appointments with them for that, you just visit the success page on Careers website, and I'll show you where that is as well. You want to test your audio visual, and you want to make sure that when you are going through your interviews, that you're in a quiet location, that you're in a space that makes you feel relaxed and at ease. And you'll want to be in a space where you can hear. I can't tell you how important this is. Even when we were having live fairs and students, were talking with employers about the follow-up. I actually had a student who missed an opportunity to work for Pepsi corporate full-time because they missed a call. They answered the call and they didn't know who it was because they were in a social setting. They couldn't hear. And so they hung up on the recruiter when the recruiter for Pepsi corporate was trying to tell them that they got the job and that they were offering them this opportunity. And they hung up on them. And so because they hung up on them and they never followed up, they ended up not getting the job. And we actually heard from the recruiter themselves about a week later, who told us about the situation that had transpired. So you want to make sure that you're testing your audio and visual, and you want to make sure that you're in a quiet location, and that you have everything together so that your session goes smoothly and that you do the proper follow-up. And dress to impress, be engaged and ask questions. Even though it's virtual, you never know what could happen. If you have a pet that ends up going by and making a mess, you got to stand up, and you were wearing your pajama pants, but you had a shirt, a button-down shirt on. You never know what could happen. You spill your coffee on your leg and you have a reaction. You want to make sure you're dressed from head to toe. So whether that means getting into a full business suit for you or business casual, you do want to put your best foot forward, because at the end of the day, these are interviews. And if you were to get in front of a recruiter outside of the career fair, or if you were going for a job outside of the career fair, just how you would dress for that opportunity, you want to dress for this one, because it is a chance to still land your job or your internship. Upload a link to your resume or a digital professional profile that you might have in the chat box. If you have registered for the career fair prior to this past Friday, and you uploaded your resume to Handshake, we have sent those resumes to the 58 employers who have registered for the career fair. But if you haven't, please make sure you update your Handshake with that resume so that the employers have access to it. And then when it comes time for your sessions, make sure you upload that resume or a link that you might have to an online presence that you might have. And make that available for the employer. So I highly suggest that, especially in your one-on-one sessions. And then you'll want to follow up. At the end of the career fair, you want to make sure that you take the time to properly follow up with the employer, to properly follow up with the recruiter. And this picture, this image on the side here is actually taken from Handshake, and it's kind of what the platform looks like when you're interacting with the employers on the one-on-one and when you have the group sessions. So that's kind of an image there of what it looks like. So in your follow-ups, you want to send a thank you email recapping the interview, and you want to thank the employer for their time and their consideration. Another really great way to follow up is if you did befriend the employer on LinkedIn, to send a LinkedIn message. In the days of COVID, that's a great way to kind of get personal with it. Before COVID, we would have a letter sent to the recruiter's office, a handwritten letter. But since you can't necessarily do that anymore, you still want to show that you've taken the time and you want to personalize it a little bit more than just a thank you email. Reach out to them on LinkedIn and thank them for their time and consideration. And if you have some more questions, it's a good time to ask them. Learn about the next steps in the recruitment process. So in that email that you send, ask them a little bit about what you have to do if you weren't hired on the spot or if they didn't give you that information already. So not only learn about those next steps, but follow through with them if there are some instructions on your end that you have to complete in order to keep moving forward in the process. And then if you haven't already befriended them on LinkedIn, now's a good time to do so. You know that employer's name, you have the information that you need from them, you know the organization that they work for. Find them, befriend them, thank them that way. And that's a great way to start building your network. Even if you don't want to work for that organization, but they're in your industry, you never know how things come back around. And you never know where you might see this employer or this person again. Just as an example, I'm currently working on a field experience for my doctoral program. And at a previous job, my very first job that I worked at, I actually was working for a particular individual. And now we fast forward 7 years, and her husband is my supervisor for my field experience. So you just never know how people are connected, and you never know how things will come back around. So befriend that employer on LinkedIn and continue to keep up that network, because you never know how it's going to help your career or it's going to follow through later on in the future. Ask the employer if it's okay to keep in touch. And like I said, I have yet to find an employer who will say no. Generally speaking, they'll at least let you stay connected with them on that social media account. And they'll, if not, reach back out to you when different opportunities do come up if you've submitted your resume and you're in their prospect pool. So you will hear from the employers if you are a prospective candidate, if you keep in touch with them. And if other opportunities should arise and you're still looking, they'll be there to assist you. So assistance during the week of the fair. Myself and my team will be available all day via email. So all of us will have certain times that we will be, that each of us are assigned, and we will be available to you. So just email careers@cua.edu. This says that the email will be checked every hour on the hour, and it will, but I'm telling you, it'll be checked even more frequently than that because, yes, every hour will be covered, but some of us might be on and be checking every 10 minutes. So just know that your answers will be answered within the hour, if not shorter, and we will get you urgent assistance for whatever problems that you might be having. We do have a Handshake tech that is on call and on duty with us that day as well. So whatever issues you're having, we'll make sure that you're taken care of. In the subject line, just put CUA, Spring Career Fair Assistance. And for some unforeseen reason, if you can't get a hold of any of us, our administrative assistant will be in the office that day. So you can always call the 202-319-6262 number, and she knows how to get a hold of us from there. But we will be there for you. You do not have to go through all of this on your own. And before I open it up to questions and discussion, I do want to share with you guys this other bit of information and some resources here. So when you're signing up for your sessions, and you're managing that schedule and what it looks like, here's where I talked about going to events or your career center. And in there is where you will find the link to be able to apply or register for the career fair. So you'll click virtual. Again, that's if you go from events or careers. And then you'll see our school fair listed, and then you'd hit register. And register is always in that top right-hand corner there. Once you hit register, you will be prompted with some information with regards to marking your calendar and how to sign up for different sessions. So you'll just hit register again just to kind of confirm it all. And then it's going to send you this notice that you'll want to have a working camera on whatever device that you're using to participate in your sessions. And it's letting you know that you can access it through your mobile device or your computer's microphone. So then after you register for the fair, there may be some questions that pop up that you'll have to complete. Those questions are from us, from our Career Center, and it just helps us kind of capture information with regards to your major and what your career interests are. And all of that goes into our database so we can continue to create better career fairs for you moving forward. So then once you register for the fair, you will see right under the fair's name, available sessions. And you'll just click on that. And when you do, you'll be taken to all of the sessions that are available. And based on the research that you've conducted, you can then sign up for those group sessions or those one-on-one sessions. So Handshake gives the example here of this organization called Sprinkle Dreams, some cupcake company. And what you'll see is that they have laid out group sessions. They have what time they're taking place, and they have different ones that you can sign up for. They also have a one-on-one session that you can click on. And when you click to sign up, when you click on the group sessions, they're going to give you an overview of what the session is. They'll give you an overview of any requirements as far as what type of candidate they're looking for. And then you can hit confirm if you would still like to join that session. So it's pretty simple when it comes to the group 30-minute sessions. When you're trying to log into the one-on-one sessions, when you click on that initial prompting, it'll take you to a landing page that asks you which recruiter you would like to meet with, and then the different times that are available for those recruiters. So if it doesn't really matter to you which recruiter you're working with, that's fine. But if there's a specific recruiter that you've done your research and you want to meet with, then you can locate that individual and pick what time works best for you. After you select the time, then you'll want to go ahead and click confirm. Now, Handshake will not let you sign up for overlapping sessions. So with that being said, you cannot sign up for a one-on-one with one employer and sign up for a one-on-one with another employer and it happen at the same time. It will send you or have something like a red dot on it like this, and that red dot lets you know that these are time conflicts with what you already have scheduled, okay? So you'll want to go with a time that doesn't have a red dot on it. Another thing that Handshake will not let you do is you can book multiple sessions with one organization, but you cannot book multiple sessions with the same employer. So for example, you can book a 11:30 with Tawana, but if you're doing the 11:30 with Tawana, you won't be able to do an 11:30 with Lindsay. So you'll have to pick another time. You'll get a prompting telling you that those times don't work. Okay, so that's a little bit of information. And because you signed up in this example for a group session that takes place from 11 a.m. to 11:30, that's why these have the red dots on it, because it already has a time conflict. So I just want to give you an example of how that all works and how Handshake helps you kind of stay organized with that. Along with that, if you go through and you book different sessions and you want to take a look at what your layout is looking like for the day, instead of clicking on available sessions, you can click on your sessions and you can see what your layout is looking for the day, and you can go through those accordingly. One last thing that I wanted to touch on is that you'll want to make sure that your privacy settings are changed on your profile to community if they're not already made public. And I think the majority of you are. If I was able to download your resume, then you do already have community settings. But if you don't, Handshake is actually going to prompt you to move into a community session, and then they'll allow you to register for your group sessions and your one-on-one sessions. So I am actually going to place in the chat box before this ends the link to this page so that you have an opportunity to review it on your own time. And also, this right here, I'm going to send you this link as well, is kind of like the overall overview page. So I showed you kind of how to register, but if you have questions outside of signing up for your sessions with how to prepare, participating, following up after, general Q&A, this is a great landing page for you to be able to get that information from Handshake and keep moving forward with it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these in the chat box. And I'm also going to stop sharing my screen. And at this time, I kind of wanted to open the floor up for any questions that you guys might have.
Bernard, if you have a question, you can go.
Thank you, Ryan. I have a question regarding with the if like the signal for when we have our virtual Zoom sessions, like what are like obviously like some people switch, but I notice sometimes even if you move spots, sometimes not good, and it's like the video will lag. Should we just how do we like should we reach out to the recruiter saying just to follow that there was a problem with our interview, so we could try to see what are you.
Yeah, I think I got the gist of your question there. Actually, while you were talking about the situation, it was happening a little bit, but I think I got the gist of your question. So the best way to go about the lag time, the great thing about Handshake is that the platform that it's on kind of provides that bandwidth for you. So the lag in time, it's not going to be like if you're on a Zoom session because it's controlled through the Handshake platform, if that makes sense. And if you think that that still might be an issue, it's okay. What you have to understand is that employers realize that we're on this platform with the Zoom platforms. They have lag time issues as well. And they have their own things that they deal with on a daily basis when it comes to trying to navigate this whole new virtual world that we're in. So like I said, Handshake has done a good job at providing that extra bandwidth for you. So all you need is just a camera, some sort of internet connection, because you can also access it through your mobile device. And Handshake's platform will be able to kind of manage that for you. So I'm not saying that you won't have any lag time, because things do happen, but I am saying that Handshake has embedded it in their system to kind of alleviate some of those issues. Great question.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any others?
Hi. I had a question about the resume book that you sent out.
Yeah.
So I registered for my one-on-ones earlier today,
Okay.
but and my resume was already loaded online. And I
Okay.
just wanted to confirm, this might be a silly question, but they were in fact already sent out to the people, correct?
Yes, they were.
Okay. Even though I just put in my one-on-ones today, it's not an issue.
Right. So even if you just put on your one-on-ones today, if you already registered, so anyone who'd already registered, you may not have your profile done yet, but if you registered, we downloaded those resumes already. So you're
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I registered a little while ago, so that's
Yeah.
And then the other one, you already said it, but can you just tell me again the time for the sort of like office hours with your staff to the
Oh,
20-minute
yeah.
sessions? I forget what you called it.
For which sessions?
You had a time where you could just kind of drop in to
Resume review.
Yeah, the resume
Review,
review
yeah.
tomorrow. Absolutely. So they're tomorrow, Tuesday, and
Mhm.
they're also Wednesday. And they're from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And all you have to do, actually, let me share my screen again, because I forgot to share this with you guys. And Robin, please don't make fun of me here. She always teases me for going through like the whole thing, but I kind of want to take you guys through it. So if you go to the Catholic U page, academic and career success, and then if you go over to About Us and make an appointment, you click on that, then you can either call this number here, or you can click here to schedule an appointment. And when you schedule your appointment, schedule it for the exact same day, same, whatever, because they're going to be looking at it all day long, and they're just going to be putting you with the ACA that's available. All of our ACAs are well trained, and they work with students on a daily basis. It's just that on Tuesday and Wednesday, doesn't really matter what your major is. They typically have a student assigned to them. Whichever ACA is available when you need them, you can drop in with them. So they're all going to be helping out that day. And it might be easier to just call, a little bit faster to just call that number, because when you call, Michelle is our administrative assistant, and she'll just go ahead and make that connection for you right then and there. If you schedule the appointment, there may be like a 10, 20-minute lag time. I'm going to stop sharing here. Okay. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So say you sign up for a few group sessions, but
Mhm.
you're not sure whether you want to do a one-on-one,
Mhm.
and say you have a group session you really like and you want to do a one-on-one,
Yeah.
still schedule that, or is it one of those things that you cannot?
That's a great question. If they still have open slots available for a one-on-one, you can absolutely still sign up. And if they don't have any one-on-one sessions that are available, I would reach out to, just because you can still message that employer in the platform, or if they give you their information at the end of the group session, and let them know that their times have filled up, but you are interested in further connecting with them, and they will set something up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So can you clarify kind of what would the group session be like? I've never done a session before. I'm not quite sure like what to expect for each session, the Q&As, individual and group.
Absolutely. So when you're in a group session, it's more like kind of like an information session. So the first 15 minutes, the employer will go over the organization themselves, and they'll talk about different opportunities that they have available. So they'll talk about internships that they have open. They'll talk about the requirements for those internships, or if it's jobs, they'll do the same thing. Talk about the requirements. They will talk about the application process, kind of what it's like to go through the whole interviewing. And then from there, they'll go into any, I guess, how do I want to say, any highlights of their internship. Or if it's a company, they'll kind of highlight the reasons why you should work at their organization. And so if it is something where they're talking about the internship program, it might be that they have a mentorship initiative attached to it. I've seen that. I've also seen it where they have an alumni network that you'll become a part of after the internship. So if they have any incentives that kind of come with being a part of the internship, they'll go over that piece towards the end. And then the last 15 minutes, they'll open it up for questions and discussion and conversation. So if in going through the application process, you end up having questions, write them down because they'll leave those 15 minutes for you to ask them. And some of the questions that I recommend asking them would be just cohort size. Are there any CUA alumni that currently work at this organization? What do you like about working for this particular organization? And what do you think are some of the benefits of being in this internship? I always tell students to remember that, yes, you want the job, you want to work for this company, but you also want to make sure that it's a good fit for you. So interviews are a two-way street. And oftentimes we don't see it that way when we're the ones that feel like we really want it. But at the end of the day, not only do you want an opportunity, but you want an opportunity that's going to move you forward in your career, that's going to grow you as a professional. And when you have that part that says, hey, do you have any questions for us? This is your chance to kind of flip the script and ask them questions about their organization and why it's a good fit for you. So that's kind of how it is. The first 15 minutes is the overview, and it gives you the information about the opportunities. And the last 15 minutes is the chance for you to ask questions and kind of network with that employer.
Thank you. And just a quick follow-up for the group sessions. Do I need to wear a suit for that, or is that just for the one-on-one?
Okay, so that's a great one. So I highly recommend just dressing business casual. So that way you don't have to change throughout the day. If you dress business casual, kind of like what I'm wearing right now, if you're wearing like a cardigan and just like a nice blouse, or if you're wearing just a shirt, a button-down shirt with a tie, and you wear that pretty much all day, or for all of your sessions, you should be fine. I would say if it is an organization that you are interested in, act like you really want the job. That's the advice that I've given students over the last 7 years. It's just, hey, if you want the job, then show up to it like it's a networking event that the organization is able to put on themselves. For example, before COVID, CUA, the Bush School of Business, used to host this networking night over at Brooklyn Pint. And some of the employers would go over, to that event. And so, yes, it's a laxed environment. You could get your drinks, get your food, you could talk with the employers. But at the same time, it's still some type of interview that's taking place. Even though it's more lax, it's still networking. It's still these employers trying to see if you're a good fit for their organization. So there's still a way that you want to present yourself. And so that's why I say you only have 30 minutes or you only have 10 minutes. You want to make the best impression at either type of session. So I would say go business casual. So that way you're comfortable. You're not all the way in a suit, but you're still presentable. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah.
So I actually have not signed up for a particular organization at the career fair just yet because the first one that I was really wanting to go for, they're completely booked.
Okay.
So I was waiting, and I was meaning to ask if the ones that we see right now in Handshake, Is that the complete set of organizations, or there might be still some registering maybe before Friday?
That's a great question. They are still registering. I just approved 2 more organizations today. The final list will probably not even be like done of all of the employers that are registering until the day before the fair. So I would say Thursday night, take a look at the employers that are there Thursday after 5 p.m. Because employers, with it being virtual, we don't necessarily have to cut them off right away. Whereas when we were on campus, we only had a set number of booths and a set number of space. But with it being virtual, it really kind of opens us up. And that's great for you guys because it's more opportunities. But with that being said, as of right now, we have 58 employers, and that could go up more by Thursday night. So I would say check back again around then to see if there's some more. In the meantime, Bernard, if you could let me know the employer that you wanted to have an information session with, but there are no more times available, I can reach out to that employer and I can see if they can set something up.
Sure thing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also want to say that sometimes the employer shows as unavailable if their preferences don't match your profile.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something else that we can look into for you. Last semester, we spoke with the employers about broadening their preferences to fit more students. So definitely share that employer with Ryan.
Yeah. Any other questions? These are really good. Okay. All right. Well, if you do have any other questions prior to the fair, if you're just thinking about something, or if you have a friend or a colleague that, wasn't able to make it tonight, but you guys are chatting and maybe they come up with a question or two, just feel free to email us. I'm actually going to put my email in the chat box there. And then you can also email just the general email, careers@cua.edu. But I wanted to put my own email in there just in case you did have questions about a particular organization that's coming and you really needed to get in contact with me. And best of luck. Best of luck to you. I hope that you're able to find the opportunities that you're looking for. And if not, if you're like, hey, the career fair did not work out for me, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We can still help you. It's not the end all be all. But I do hope that you're able to make the connections that you're looking for.